What is going on, college basketball fans? Today we're going to talk about Arkansas basketball and how Eric Musselman and his staff has reloaded in the portal and are looking like top national championship contenders for the 2024 season. I'm ready to get started. Just want to say subscribe if you guys are new. Hit that like button if you guys enjoy. Let's go. Alright, so Muss is the portal king. He has 5 big transfer commits already this offseason, and he is loading up, and he may not even be done just yet. Real quick, I'll go over all the transfers that Arkansas acquired this offseason so far. They got Keon Minifield, the freshman out of Washington, still 3 years of eligibility remaining. That is huge because they can use him not only this year, but if he decides to stay, they can use him for future years as well. Last season for Washington, he did average 10 points per game. He can be a key scorer on this team for sure. I think that was an amazing pickup, and he fits this Arkansas playstyle really well. How he's a two-way player, he's going to play aggressive defense, and he can also get his own buckets as well. And they also got Khalif Battle, the transfer out of Temple. He averaged 4 rebounds per game and an assist per game. Then just recently, a few days ago, they picked up a 5th transfer out of the portal, and that is L. Ellis out of Louisville. Last season, he averaged 17 points per game, 4 assists per game. What a pickup that is for this team. Another really good shooter that will go along with these shooters. But the only thing that I think is a big question mark about this team is 4 out of these 5 players that they picked up out of the transfer portal are guards. So is this team too guard heavy? Possibly. I think that it could work out, though, because when you have that many ball handlers, that many players that can get their own bucket, and most of these players are two-way players that can defend, that is so huge. And I want to go over their returning players, the recruits that they're bringing in for next season, and then I want to go over their projected starting 5 and their bench and talk about why I think Arkansas is one of the top contenders, if not the favorite to win the national championship next season. So they are possibly returning actually quite a few important players. Devo Davis, he declared for the NBA draft, but did not hire an agent. He has until April 23rd to make his decision whether he wants to stay another year at Arkansas or enter the NBA draft. If Devo Davis returns, that will be huge. He had a big game against Kansas in the round of 32 this year and helped Arkansas pull off that upset and make it to the Sweet 16, and he is a really good player, and I think he will return. Also, Trevon Brazile, he had a big-time injury early on in the season, but he was playing great, averaging 11 points per game, 6 rebounds per game from the forward position on this team. He was only a sophomore last season, so it sucks that he went down because he was going to be such a huge part of this team for Arkansas, but he will be back next season and hopefully fully healthy for the full season. Also, Jordan Walsh might be returning. He, like Devo Davis, has declared for the draft, but with the possibility of returning. Again, he has until April 23rd to make that decision, but he recently posted a video on Twitter captioned "Decision," and he's walking out on a court in an Arkansas hoodie. So I think that Jordan Walsh will be returning next season, and if he does, he will not have to be behind guys like Anthony Black and Nick Smith Jr. and Ricky Council IV. I think he would be in for a huge year if Jordan Walsh does return and could make himself a lottery NBA draft pick next season. Also, Makai Mitchell might be returning. His twin brother Mikal, it has entered the transfer portal, but Makai has not entered yet. And Makai is the better of the two brothers. He did average 7 points per game. He was the starting center on this Arkansas team for the majority of the year last season. And they also are returning Jalen Graham for his 5th year of eligibility. He could be a key piece off the bench as well. They also have 2 top 30 recruits coming in this year, one being Bay Fall, a tall center, number 20 recruit overall, 5-star recruit, and Layden Blocker, a guard, number 29 overall recruit, 4 stars. So 2 really good recruits coming in as well, and that means they have a lot of depth on this team, and we saw in UConn's team that won the national championship this past year, that team had a ton of depth, and I think that this Arkansas team could mirror that success. So here is my projected starting 5 and bench for this Arkansas team. At the point guard position, I do have Devo Davis, assuming he does return and doesn't enter the NBA draft, which I think he will. Devo Davis, I think, should be the starting point guard on this Arkansas team. Out of all the transfers, I mean, you could argue Minifield could get in here, maybe even L. Ellis, but I think Devo Davis could be the best playmaker out of all those players and deserves that starting point guard spot. At shooting guard, I do have the transfer out of Temple, Khalif Battle. I think that he provides the shooting on this team, averaged 18 points per game last year at Temple. I think that he will be a key piece to this team at the shooting guard position, providing a lot of that shooting in this starting rotation. At the small forward position, I do have Jordan Walsh, assuming he does return and doesn't enter the NBA draft, which, judging by that video, wearing the Arkansas hoodie, I think he might be back for his sophomore year, and if he does, he should be a lock to be a starter next season. He could be in for a huge year. At the power forward position, I do have Trevon Brazile returning for his junior year after being injured in a sophomore season. I think he is in for a big year as well. Super athletic guy. He is going to be fun to watch this next season. And at the center position, I do have the freshman 5-star recruit Bay Fall coming in to fill that center position, because this team is going to need some post play somewhere, and maybe they will pick up another transfer, another big man later on. We have to talk about that as well, because Arkansas may not be done in the portal. But on the bench, I actually only have one of their new transfer pickups in the starting rotation, but that means their bench is absolutely loaded, and pretty much 5 men deep into this bench, these guys could be starters on a lot of Division I teams, which says a lot. So, their bench is looking like this. Point guard, Keon Minifield. Shooting guard, L. Ellis. Small forward, Tremont Mark. Power forward, Jeremiah Davenport. Center, Makai Mitchell. And they also have Jalen Graham on that as well. And Layden Blocker. I mean, that could be a 12 men deep rotation, and they could feel good about all 12 of those players getting minutes in their game. So that is huge. Like I said, they can go 10 man deep, and 5 of their bench players could be starters on most other college basketball Division I teams, which is absolutely crazy. This is why I think that especially if Devo Davis and Jordan Walsh return to Arkansas, along with guys like Makai Mitchell, if he returns, doesn't follow his brother into the portal, I think that this team might be the favorites to win the national championship next year. They have all they need, man, and maybe the biggest question mark on this team could be the shooting, or could it be too guard heavy? I could see that, but when you have so many good guards, so many good players, and if they mesh together and embrace their roles, I think that this team could win the Natty with all that depth. And before we end this video, I want to talk about a few other big-time transfers that Eric Musselman is currently going after right now. It's actually looking like Tyler Perry, the transfer out of North Texas, one of the biggest names still available in the portal, might be the favorites to pick him up, which is insane. If they get Tyler Perry on this team as well, I don't know how many scholarships this team has, but somebody is probably going to have to get cut or transfer out. I mean, that is insane. Also, Musa Cisse, the transfer out of Oklahoma State, if they could get him, that could be a starting center right there, and have a good starting center, a good anchor on this team that can block some shots. That could be huge. And same with Jamarian Sharp, the transfer out of Western Kentucky. He is a 7'5" center. Arkansas is trying to get him as well. And really, you could look at any name in the transfer portal right now, and Eric Musselman is calling him up. Eric Musselman takes full advantage of the transfer portal, and he is setting his team up really good to be a top contender next season in college basketball. Let me know down below in the comment section, what do you guys think about my starting 5? Do you think that would be the starting 5? Do you think that you would go a little bit more guard heavy? Do you think only one of Jordan Walsh or Trevon Brazile would start, and they would probably start 3 3 guards. Let me know what you guys think, especially Arkansas fans. You know probably more about this roster than me, as you guys probably watch most of the games. But yeah, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Let me know what you guys think. I think Arkansas is going to be a top national championship contender next year, could win it all. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching.